Check, check. Microphone check. Welcome back to more Planescape Torment. We saved this man's life in the last video. We'll talk to the wife in this video. Agnar's wife smiles as she sees you.
Well, met, good sir. How can I help you?
I'm low on supplies, bitch. Hook it up. Oh, yes, I see. We can sell shit. Although she doesn't want to buy anything. You poor old bitch. We don't want bandages, a needle, and thread. Are you kidding me? Alright, I guess the wife is just nice. She's nice and you can rest here for free and stuff like that. Let's get the hell out of here. Let's go back to the Grave Dust Bar, whatever the hell it's called. What's up with these load times? Dabu. All right. Mortai frowns as you approach, plucking his tongue.
You again? You come to make me surrender more contracts in the name of the Dustman faction?
He frowns and sighs.
Well, no matter, no matter.
Past is the past. He regains his old smile and nods at you.
What is it I may do for you?
I had some questions.
Of course, of course. It'd be my pleasure to answer any questions.
I'd like to sign the contract you mentioned.
Excellent, excellent.
With a thin smile, he places a dusty sheet of parchment and quill pen in front of you.
You shall not regret it.
He jabs his finger at 3 points on the page.
Sign here, 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 and here. Now transaction is concluded.
You know, you show more emotion than other dustmen I've met.
I trust you meant no offense, sir.
I meant no offense, but you seem awfully eager to sign this contract with me.
Eager? Sir, do you wish to sign the contract or not? If not...
You take the quill in your hand and begin to scratch your signature under the parchment. The quill pen makes a strange screeching noise as it touches the parchment like a dagger writing on steel. As you try to sign the parchment, however, you notice that it seems to be shifting beneath your pen. No matter how hard you try, you can't seem to sign your name. The contract seems to twist from being a dusty piece of paper to something alive. Mortai, what's with this contract? When you glance up to speak to Mortai, you see that his face has been replaced with that of a grinning skull. The rest of the bar seems to stop, the patrons falling silent, freezing like statues. Mortai opens his mouth, and a wisp of dust trails from inside the skull. Mortai. With a rasp, the death's head speaks, dust streaming from his teeth.
Sign. But remember, everything has its price. And what can change the nature of a man?
The words are ragged, dead chorus as if being spoken by 5, 10, 20, 100 voices, old, young, female, desperate, calm, hysterical. The nature of a man. As you speak the words, suddenly you feel faint. The next thing you hear is Mortai's voice, normal, his hand upon your shoulders.
Sir, are you all right?
He laughs uneasily.
I thought I'd lost you for a moment.
This is if time has exhaled and resumed its natural breathing. The rest of the bar has returned to normal, and Mortai's face is no longer a death's head. You feel a strange pressure inside your skull as if something was desperately wishes to surface but cannot. The experience with the death's head that spoke dust, as if as remembered a dozen splinters of memories all at once, all stabbing into each other to create an image. And you know somehow that every voice the death's head spoke belonged to someone, now long dead. Just give me a moment, I'll be fine. Mortai removes his hand from your shoulder. He looks uneasy, more at the prospect of losing a customer than any concern for your welfare. As you stare at the dusty parchment upon the table, you know for a fact that it is not the first time you have pinned your name to a contract, and perhaps not the first time you have signed one such as this. You scratch an X across the contract in 3 places Mortai indicated. As you finish making the last mark, Mortai's hands lash out like 2 whips. The left hand sprinkles dust across the parchment to help the ink dry, and his right hand flicks a stream of coppers into your hand. 50 in all. Now that that's out of the way, I have some other questions for you.
Of course. It would be my pleasure to answer your questions you may have.
I'm searching for a man named Pharod. Have you seen him?
He's one of the collectors, isn't he? I know little of him. I think Initiate Emmerich mentioned him in passing.
Mortai glances around.
Emmerich should be around in the bar somewhere. He's usually found in the far corner over the head of the table, I believe.
Initiate Emmerich?
A respected initiate of the Fourth Circle. A very wise man. He's divested himself of attachments and passion for this life.
He nods in approval. Alright, let's go over and let's talk to Emmerich again. And question him on the presence of Pharod, who he obviously will find in Ragpicker Square. I'm searching for Pharod. Have you seen him? I would know why you seek the collector Pharod. He stole something from me. Why do you want to know my business with Pharod? The collector Pharod has brought many corpses to the mortuary of late. One must ask where these bodies are from. Perhaps I could find out where these bodies are from.
How would you do such a thing?
I would track down Pharod and ask him.
If you spoke with the collector Pharod and returned with his answers, you have done a great service for the dustman. Find where the dead he brings to us, and you will be rewarded.
Very well.
Emmerich nods. Your path is our path. Return here when you have the collector Pharod's answers.
Can you tell me where he is?
It is not known to me where the collector Pharod is. He hides from the eyes of the dustman. I would seek other collectors and ask them your question.
Fine then. Zombie workers. What's in the barrels? Get out of my way, zombie. Absolutely nothing in the barrels. Old copper eyes. Seer the Skeptic. And a roach. You see a spindle-thin dustman in dirty black robes. His stiff black hair springs forth from his skull like a crown of spikes, and his leper-white skin is drawn sharply across his skull. He is frowning to his drink and mumbling to himself. A roach? The dustman looks up, blinks once, and then looks up at you, up and down, studying you. As he studies you, he takes one of his spiked locks and points at himself with it.
Now, roach, initiate, dustman, god.
Emmerich told me to speak with you.
Emmerich sent you to me?
He studies you for a moment, then sighs and points at himself.
The roach is dustman, god, serve dustman interest, protect dustman interest, protect dustman reputation.
The man sighs again.
In the hive many thieves. One thief wears robes of dustman, but a dustman not.
Is a thief disguised as a dustman? He nods.
Find him, I cannot. Important to the dustman it is.
I can track him down for you.
For making my troubles your troubles, copper coins will I pay. Find the not dustman, deal with him, then return, the roach will wait.
Very well. I will find this not dustman. Before he was a young dustman with stubble on his chin and dark circles beneath his eyes, he is staring at the wall with a somber expression. Greetings and salutations awaiting death. The dustman doesn't look up. He stares straight ahead, as if he's seeing something several leagues beyond the walls of the bar. Can I ask you some questions?
Alrighty then, Morty husses at you. Let's go, Chief. This dusty might as well be fertilizer.
As you turn to leave, the dustman suddenly speaks, his voice barely a murmur. You have to strain to hear words. You think he said something about a contract. What did you say? He turns to you, his face like stone, his eyes dead.
Why did you sign that dead contract?
I wanted to see if it stirred my memory.
Stir your memory,
He frowns.
and remember nothing but this life that you left behind.
What should I have done it for?
A release from this existence. Look, surely you have seen corpses that walks the streets of Sigil. Mindless, incapable of feeling pain or anger or the weight of years. That is true death that walks here. That is perfection.
Why would anyone want such a thing?
I would. The release is what I crave. The emptiness, no more pain and suffering.
You wish to die?
Yes.
Why do you want to die?
This existence is a mockery of life. I do not wish to continue the charade any longer.
His face wrinkles in disgust.
Why would anyone wish to remain in this foul city, in the center of the multiverse that feeds on pain and hatred? Death, silent, comforting.
It's a bleak outlook. There's a lot more to life than pain and hatred. Surely, it cannot be as bad as you make it out to be.
This is living.
He bares his teeth and his hands clench.
This existence is a mockery of life. I do not wish to continue this charade any longer. Death is silent, comforting.
Then why haven't you killed yourself already?
I've been looking for a means to end my life. Will you kill me?
Yes, I will!
He sighs in relief and pulls a bag out of his robe. It clinks as he places it in front of him. Do it now. I cannot wait any longer.
All right, close your eyes. Reach your hands around his neck and strangle him. You place your hands on his neck and begin slowly to constrict. He gives a choked gasp and his eyes open wide. With a pleading expression, he begins to claw at your hands. You release him, and to your discomfort, you find yourself doing so reluctantly. The boy gasps for breath, coughing violently. Changed your mind? He nods weakly. Look, next time you want to die, you better be damn sure, because the next fellow may not stop when you ask him to. Now stop moping around life's misery when you obviously still want to be part of it. The boy looks at you for a moment in silence, then nods, slowly rubbing his neck. I didn't fulfill my terms of the agreement, so keep your money. The boy nods again and finally catches his breath.
Very well, thank you, sir, for giving me a fresh perspective.
Don't thank me, just live. It insults the dead when you treat life carelessly. Farewell, dipshit. Let's see here. Emmerich has much more to say. Talking with him about the factions. Dustmen are organized into 5 circles. The 5th circle is made of the lowest rank of Dustmen initiates. The 1st circle comprised of the highest ranking Dustmen, the ruling body of our faction. You wish to sign the debt contract? What is it exactly? In exchange for 50 copper commons, the debt contract gives the Dustman faction the rights to your corpse after death. No. Already signed a contract. In search of a journal. And he has no idea where my journal is. Yeah, we already did this. Who else is in this confounded bar? See here, the skeptic. As you approach, the elderly woman turns and stares at you.
La, look who's coming. A calling on seal today. Death's dearest son.
She looks you up and down and shakes her head in disbelief.
By every power and its mother, boy, what crypt did you crawl out of?
I'm fresh from the mortuary, actually.
That's so.
Seer rises an eyebrow.
Warms me ears to hear you gave that place a laugh, boy. Not much of a watering hole for one who isn't reveling in themselves.
She sniffs.
Too many cobwebs and dusty minds.
Aren't you a dustman?
A dustman, I suppose. I've seen enough sand pass through the hourglass while wearing these robes. This body's almost ready to pay the ferryman.
She chuckles, but there's not much mirth in it. Are you afraid of dying?
Of course I am, boy. Who isn't?
She frowns and glances around.
Well, except dustmen. They're not afraid because they've been swallowing so much of their own back droppings over the decades they've blinded themselves into thinking death is some kind of release.
So what sparked this crisis of faith? She shrugs.
Life, I suppose. But,
She frowns.
ha! Never you mind. I don't want to bore you with niggling details.
I'd like to know, actually.
Or would you?
She looks at you skeptically.
How old do you take me for, boy?
Not too old. She snorts.
Well, you're wrong. I'm really old. Really, really old. Now, I've spent most of my long years teaching dustmen. I've seen many dustmen whelps grow within order, taught them the ways of affection, kept the faith, preached the tenets of our affection.
She frowns. So on and so on.
No questions, no doubt. This life was merely an antechamber that led to true death.
What happened?
Well, half a month back, I went sick with a fever.
She sighs.
I thought it was the end. It rattled in the cage.
How? Her face becomes a stone.
There's something about having your faction members circle around your deathbed like a pack of pale-faced ghouls, nodding and agreeing that your suffering and dying is all for best. Oh, Seer is so fortunate. She shall soon be relieved of the burden of life. Burden of life? That's when it struck me.
That?
That there's something
A queer expression comes over her features.
adult about not appreciating your life. The dustman kept saying that life is misery and suffering, is it? That we should be happy to pass on into oblivion, should we?
She shakes her head.
Questions, questions, and precious few answers.
What will you do?
To be square, boy, I don't know.
She sighs.
That's the problem, doubt. I can't even trust what I'm feeling is true. Or if I'm scared of death only because my brush with fever, or even what I should do. Is it this passing thing? I don't know.
The core of the Dustman philosophy is that life is one of pain. It is a weapon that life uses against the soul to keep it anchored to its existence. Do not let this brush with the fever break your Dustman beliefs so. Time will heal these doubts. She stares at you, then nods slowly.
Maybe so, maybe so.
She frowns, her face wrinkling up in concentration.
I'll have to chew it over some more.
You should. It's no small matter.
Enough of me rattling on about me woes.
She stares at your scars.
You look like you've shared a few handshakes with death yourself. Hasn't that changed your views somewhat?
Well, my condition is unique. I woke up in the mortuary. I think they mistook me for a corpse, prepared to bury me. The strange thing is, I think I actually had died, and got better. She blinks.
You rattling my coffin?
It's true.
Strange are the ways of the plains. I've seen too much to throw any tale out the wash.
She studies your face.
If it's true, why does this happen?
All I know is I woke up in the mortuary with no memory, and covered with enough wounds to kill me 3 times over.
Now don't be saying that too loud.
She glances around.
Most peculiar. Never heard of anything like that. Shame about the memories.
You have any idea why this happens?
Nay, not a one. Never knew anyone who death couldn't take until now.
I believe signing more than one contract turns you more chaotic, which we don't want to do. I'm trying to create a lawful good character here. You see Naroch. He's pulling out spikes of his hair and using it to scratch a spot on his face. Can't help but think he'd look a lot better with dreadlocks. Something troubling you? I hear about your posting outside. The dustman looks you up and down.
Many troubles I have. Can't help you. Mausoleum awakes the dead walk. The dead disturbed, the dustman disturbed. Find out what disturbs the undead, and copper coins I will pay.
Very well, where is this mausoleum?
Mausoleum by Dustman Memorial. Go north, west from Black Monument. Go to arch and semicircle over your heart with the finger at the spade.
He wiggles his index finger on his right hand.
To the mausoleum go you will.
Alright. So let's go off. You can get several quests here, as you can see. You can keep signing different contracts, apparently, for experience, but I do believe it makes you more chaotic.
Slow signal.
And there's a weapon we want to get that you can only get if you're lawful good. Or if you're chaotic evil or something. But we're going to be good. Let's see. Is the Black Obelisk. Let's go due west. We will find this mausoleum and kick some undead ass. Lots of more people to talk to. And lots more harlots to screw. One ear. It's got some weird dead insects. Just uncovering some of the map here. Ragpicker Square, the flop house. Where is this? There's a portal here. Maybe this is to the mausoleum. I don't know, it's been a while since I've played this game, folks. Loading, loading, loading. The spectral figure materializes from the gloom of the passageway ahead and quickly moves to block your path. It floats before you, its once human features twisting in a mask of rage.
Defilers, leave this place at once.
Greetings and salutations, guardian spirit.
Leave now.
Its booming voice echoes down the halls.
This place is forbidden to the living. Leave while you still can.
Stand aside, I go where I want to, you bitch. I have some questions first.
Seek your answers elsewhere. This place is a sanctuary for the dead. You shall not permit your slumber to be disturbed by the intrusion of yet another insolent mortal.
Another? Has someone else been here?
You must know, yes, there is another intruder who even now continues to violate the sanctity of these hallowed halls.
The anger in the spirit's voice fades.
He seems somewhat saddened by the admission. The souls of my brothers and sisters cry out for peace.
Who's this other intruder?
He's an evil coward who wields great power over the dead. He seeks something within these halls. What it might be or what his purpose is in seeking, I cannot say.
Why don't you drive him away?
I cannot. The coward has sealed himself within the inner chamber of the mausoleum. He has erected powerful wards that bar my entrance into the chamber. It is from there he calls upon his dark arts to awaken my brethren, and bends them to his evil will.
Perhaps I may be of assistance to you. The spirit remains silent for several long moments. You can almost feel the weight of his lifeless gaze upon you.
Yes, you might prevail where I have failed. If you will pledge to rid me of this blackguard, I shall grant you passage. What say you?
I'll do it.
Updated my journal.
So be it.
The spirit slowly fades, until only echoing of its disembodied voice remains.
But take heed. Tread lightly in these halls, lest you join the others in eternal rest.
What are you talking about? I kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum.
I'm gone.
Better save my game before I eat my own words. We shall explore the mausoleum in further depth, in greater detail, but that will have to be in the next video. Stay tuned and thanks for watching.